Frazier. I am the Marketing and Operations Manager here at PTLU. Today I'm going to be manning the chat, so feel free to drop your questions in there. We'll have time to answer them at the end. I do want to let you know that this session is being recorded and it will be broadcast on LinkedIn later. And the recording will be sent to all of our registered participants after the event. So today we are here to talk all about the Career Relaunch course. We have Susan Rietano Davey and Kelley Biskupiak joining us today. They are the co-founders of Prepare to Launch You. PTLU, some of you have been on our list for a couple years actually, and others are brand new to PTLU. So it's exciting that you're all here today. Prepare to Launch You helps guide women through the complexities of work-life transitions. Susan and Kelley have extensive backgrounds in technology, education, and executive coaching, and they've worked with thousands of women to help them successfully re-enter the workforce after taking a career break. So today we're going to begin with some course details, and then we'll introduce you to two of our course graduates, Sarisha and Stephanie, who were so kind to join us today. So without further delay, I will let Susan and Kelley take it from here.
We will. So minor little add-on here. Megan is a graduate of our program.
Yes. Yeah.
We needed help. So she impressed us enough during the program that we hired her. All right. So welcome everybody today. We're recording this session. We're also hosting a second session to make
Friday.
sure we get enough people who want to learn about the program have that opportunity. So a little bit about, wait a minute, where's someone about us?
No, we're just.
Did you move them?
No, second. No,
Oh.
I don't know. They were back. I know. I just went.
They were backwards? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
Great. But for those of you that are here, you are
Right.
in the right place.
Okay. We're usually better than this. Just FYI, I have a concussion. I'm a little off right now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you are in the right place if you're considering a return and or pivot in the work that you want to do in the world, but you have no idea where to start. That gap can often be that, I get confused. I used to be a real, I could make this decision and get myself going, but I just don't know what to do. And that's okay. So you're in the right.
Maybe you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to present your career break. We did a webinar the other day and somebody said, I've been out for 12 years. Do I need to talk about my career break? Yes, you do. You got to talk about what you've done for 12 years and no one's going to even consider you. Yes. But we want to help you understand how to talk about that as an asset, not a liability.
Exactly. And really see it as an asset and not a liability too. You've been trying to do trying to do all the above, but you haven't succeeded, or you're not getting any traction or meaningful traction, and that is definitely something that we see.
You've been applying, you've been interviewing, nothing's moving.
Yes.
And there's usually some good reason for that.
Yeah.
You also may be getting lots of confusing feedback. So with the advent of business people on social media, add them to all the people in your life, your mother-in-law, your sister, your neighbor, your friend, your college roommate, all telling you what you should do. And then all the people on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn telling you what to do. And you could be receiving lots of well-intentioned feedback or input, but probably not well-informed.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that just makes you more confused.
And, and here's the deal. This journey is overwhelming. And if you are feeling that sense of overwhelm, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I'm all of those things that we've already listed. It's totally normal to feel that way. And it's why we started this company and built this course, because we really have been able to distill it down and give you a clear path back. So
Kelley and I are both relaunchers too.
Yes.
And this is why we designed this program. We're both mothers of 4. We both not only took career breaks, but then we pivoted into something new. So we get it, we've lived it, and we're able to help people like you.
Right. And we have a combined 40 years of experience helping women from across the globe navigate work and life transitions in good and bad economic times. If you've kind of been on the journey with us this summer, you know that we've talked in our free webinars that we've had a lot about the economic times and relaunching in that period of time. So we've been through many cycles now. So we really understand it, especially in terms of those of you that have a gap or those of you that are looking to pivot in your career.
And if you've been watching us at all, you can see that we have a real complement of experience. It gives us a 360-degree perspective. You know, I have a background in tech and corporate recruiting and executive coaching. Kelley's a background in education, educational leadership, curriculum development, and life coaching. So between the two of us, we really are looking at the whole person and all of the different ways that this job search can challenge you, both on a professional and a personal level.
Right. And this is our sweet spot. We love our Career Relaunch course, but we are also widely recognized experts in this particular field of career. We're trusted by Fortune 500 companies. We do a lot of work speaking corporations and companies, major universities. We've been leaders in national conferences, and we are LinkedIn learning authors. And some of you may have found us there. So,
right. And with our help, people from across the globe literally are landing jobs, and we want to help you. All right. So if you're thinking about when you're coming to this program, these are the reasons that people come in. The first is, I need income.
Yeah.
I need challenge. I need commitment. I mean, connection, but I don't know what I can do. And that's the most important piece. For some of you who might be getting stuck and not advancing, or not even getting a first interview, or not networking successfully, if you're not really clear on what you can do and how you fit and how to get there, you'll never get there.
Right.
No one else is going to help you come.
And oftentimes people come to us having sat down trying to write that resume, but it's full of odd jobs or gaps or moves, and that will never hold up. So we help you with that.
A lot of students come to us feeling that they have no professional network or any contacts, and they wouldn't even know exactly. They wouldn't even know what to say if they were in front of them, and we help with that as well.
Right. And Susan talked about this earlier, but you might be getting competing advice, and that competing advice might be coming from people that love you. This is the thing, and we can promise this to you. We know this lane, and we know it really, really well, and we have helped hundreds, probably close to 1,000 now, women in your space, in your place, return to work successfully. And so we know what we're talking about in this process.
A lot of women in this situation have been underemployed. Even so, some of you have been volunteering and doing community work and advocacy work, but some of you have been working, and maybe for a long time, in something that's unchallenging or just accessible, but underemployed by any measure. And you get to the point sometimes where you feel like that's all you're even worthy of. And we want to help change that. And then, of course, in terms of interviewing, we know that some of you have been working at this and just feel like you're beating your head against a wall because nothing's happening. And if that's the case, then you're definitely in the right place.
All right.
So this is kind of the outline of our course. And we feel that the solution to all those problems we just outlined for you is our program. That's what we designed it around.
Right. So the first place that we start is really with clarity, knowing who you are now at this point in your life. You've had a lot of life happen, especially in those gap years, and also really getting an understanding of what you offer. So we start there, and then we go into giving you more of a direction and understanding of what you want and need, and then actually where do you fit.
And this is a place that many of you might not have considered, because most of the people that are coming through our programs, or even our events, are feeling a lack of confidence and feeling like, I'm just going to get whatever job I can get, and morphing yourself to the job without always thinking about, well, what do I really want? What's going to serve me? If you're going to take the time to invest in yourself, particularly if you're going to take the time to invest in this program, you want to make sure that you're going after what you want and what fits your life, and not trying to just morph yourself into what the employer might need.
And then you're not just doing that without a plan.
Exactly. Right. The strategy is really key. So we'll help you put together a plan to connect your brand with the audience that you're looking to reach. And then all the tactics. So you're all coming in here knowing you need a resume, you need a good LinkedIn profile, you need to know how to interview, you need to know how to negotiate. And those are essential pieces of this course and things that you'll absolutely walk away with. But they don't happen in week one.
Right.
They happen later, after you've done the foundational work. And where we see most people have failed is that they're diving right into writing a resume and trying to network without having done the foundational work to really know the story and create the strategy.
Right.
Okay.
You know, I always say it this way, that you show up and you have been the visionaries for everyone in your lives. And this is your opportunity to really be the visionary for yourself again, or maybe for the first time ever. And so the offshoot of that is, through this 10 weeks, we watch you walk in as one woman and we watch you leave as another woman, you transform and your confidence. Because here's the thing, that confident woman is in there. And when you step out, I don't care if you step out for 2 months or if you step out for 20 years, there is a loss in confidence that happens. And that confidence is built back in the course of these 10 weeks because you are doing something. You are moving in a direction. You are seeing things about yourself, and you are knowing how to articulate and teach people, here is who I am. Here's what I bring to the table. And I'm ready to get back to work and make this a better place or contribute in some way.
So Kelley just showed you confidence. This is what happens throughout the program. Skills, the basics, obviously the tactics we talked about, but learning how to network, learning how to interview, learning how to close an interview, how to negotiate for the best opportunity. And then the softer things, you're not going through this journey alone. You're going through it in a small cohort. We have, I think it's up to 5 or 6 cohorts going at a time. So we've got, I think, 2 more to fill with up to 12 women. And so you've got someone with you. I mean, I just know as a business person, I was a sole proprietor for a bit before I met Kelley. She was as well. There's great shared enthusiasm, shared energy, accountability, motivation that comes from working with someone else. So having that tribe or network of other people working with you is great.
Well, when we designed the program way back when we were running the pilot, they told us we don't want to do this alone.
Community.
We need community, and you do need community through this process. This is a challenging process.
And Stephanie, when you meet Stephanie, she'll tell you a little bit of how the community has helped her, because Stephanie landed a job right before the course even ended, and then got promoted and did really well. And then the company, which was looking for more funding, and went belly up because it was a startup. And so she's now back in our web with our graduates in our graduate program, just retooling for this next opportunity. So that support group doesn't go away after the 10 weeks.
And I just want to say this for that last piece, that you get access to us. There are a lot of other programs that are out there. There are a lot of other maybe one-on-one coaching opportunities that you can do, but that community piece of you knowing you're not alone and you're walking this journey with other people is extremely motivating. It keeps you accountable. And then it's having this time with Susan and myself to really ask us as your coaches, as the experts in this area, what is my best?
And we are the coaches. So we're not bringing you in and then assigning you to other people. We are with you twice a week live.
Right. And it's not one-on-one coaching, but you will see that in the group coaching that it feels like, oh, I'm getting my time. I'm getting my time.
So simply by joining us today, you're investing in yourself, which is something that maybe you haven't done in a long time. You're doing something. You're not just thinking about what's next. You're actually showing up.
Yeah. And you're taking that first step to relaunch your career. And that's an exciting thing. All right. So these are the nuts and bolts of the program. So this is the design, the curriculum design of the program. So it's 10 weeks. You get the 2 of us, you get the community, and module 1 is what we call Reclaim. And we're going to spend about 2 weeks there using our proprietary and third-party tools to define who you are now. So basically, this is your brand. You're getting very clear on what your brand is.
And then modules 2 through 4 are Refine. That's another 2 weeks where we're going to determine where you're going. That's your audience, what gets in the way, and how to overcome it. So this is unique to our program. It kind of reflects back on what I said earlier about the soft and the harder skills, because we know that you can do everything right, but if you don't manage the voices in your head and the voices around you and the obligations that you have, that you're never going to be successful. Even if you land, you'll fail because you haven't prepared yourself or the people around you for you to be back in a more demanding role.
Well, and we've talked about this on some of our other platforms, but burnout is a real thing. Many of you may have left the workplace because you were burnt out, because you were trying to do it all, because you were trying to be it all, because you were not taking good care of yourself. And so we really build in lessons around burnout proofing you in this course.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
So modules 5 and 6 is that relaunch.
5 through 8, actually. That's a lot.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time here. So in modules 2 and 4, you'll be with Kelley a little bit more. In modules 5 through 8, you'll be with me a little bit more. And we're going to figure out what your story is, and then we're going to teach you how to tell it. So it can be memorable on paper, online on LinkedIn, and in person when you're networking or interviewing. And you'll get tons of practice. So this is where the small group is very helpful. There's nowhere to hide. You will not escape this course without your resume being reviewed edited and approved, without your LinkedIn the same, without practicing networking calls and your elevator pitch, and without being in the hot seat with me firing interview questions at you. And what we find is that often the students will say, nothing I got in the workplace was as hard as what I practiced. So it was like we really prepare you for the worst case scenario.
Yes. And some of this is ripping off the Band-Aid because that might feel really uncomfortable to you. It might feel really uncomfortable just to talk about yourself. And so over the course of the 10 weeks, we are really working that muscle so that when you get to the interview, it just feels like, oh, like our students come back and they're like, you know what? Like they asked this question, and I was so prepared for that. So, so it's growing your confidence right along with all of that practice. And then modules 9 and 10 are review and refresh, and we'll use the last 2 weeks to practice, to review, and perfect whatever you're struggling with or something that you want to get stronger at during the course of the course.
And we'll also have you put together some actionable steps and present them to the group to hold you accountable for, because you're going to be in this intense period and then suddenly you're kind of off on your own. You'll still have access to us. You'll still have access to your community, but presenting, this is my vision and these are my goals and these are my doable actions for the next, is it 90 days?
90 days.
90 days is a great way for you to kind of keep that momentum going. So at the end of our course, you'll know who you are, what you offer, what you want and need of this big career step, where you're going, and how to tell your story so you can get there.
Right. You're going to create the tools you need to succeed: an exceptional resume, LinkedIn profile, a memorable elevator pitch, a workable networking plan, plus the skills to interview, land, negotiate for, and succeed in your dream job.
And you'll have connections, guidance, mentorship, support, and honestly, lifelong friends. One of our 2020 cohorts still meets on a regular basis monthly. We love that. So the PTL community is a wonderful support system. We have graduates finding jobs, posting jobs with other graduates, letting them know about opportunities. Lots of times we have a private community where you'll be part of a Slack space. We'll talk about that in a moment, where you can connect with people and say, hey, I'm looking for a connection in this industry. And graduates from 5 years ago will say, gee, I know somebody, call this person, or let me introduce you. So we end on December 5th, right in time to kind of take a deep breath before the holidays. And by that point, you'll have everything you need to fulfill your career dreams. The beauty of the fall cohort is that you've got the fall, kids going back to school. It's kind of like you're doing the same thing.
You're going back to school too.
You get a little breath during the holidays. And then in January, the two big hiring timeframes in the US are January and September. So you're going to get this perfect timing of holidays are over, everybody's back to school, and now I'm ready. I've got everything I need to launch in January.
Right.
And one more thing I'll add there is the fall cohort, it is 10 weeks of learning time, but you actually get 11 weeks because we don't have sessions the week of Thanksgiving. So you get a little breather right when we're like an interview, you get kind of a bonus week. So
great.
Yeah. So this is what's included in the course. So this is really the nuts and bolts. So 44 professionally produced instructional videos accessible flexibly online, and that access to the course videos is for 1 full year. So you will be following them as we go through the program, but say 6 months from now, or
you're negotiating a raise, or a month after the course you're interviewing, you can go back and watch the instruction. So as we mentioned, a small group learning cohort of up to 12 women. The calls are handled. So if any of you are in education, it's the idea of a flipped classroom. You do the instruction piece on your own in this learning portal. So you'll get the assignment for the week. You'll have a syllabus, and it'll say, okay, for week 1, we want you to do the introductory video, and module 1 lessons, I think it's 1 through 5. So you will log on, with the exception of some of the later videos that I do on maybe interviewing, negotiating. Most of them are fairly short, 10, 15 minutes. You watch the video, and then you'll download whatever the exercise file is, and you'll do the work. Then I think 8 of the 10 Wednesdays, you'll be meeting with one of us individually for supplemental instruction. So this is kind of the agile instruction, the things that we can't record because they change. So Kelley's always doing lots of study on the neuroscience of mindsets and how they impact the way we show up for interviews or at work. I'm constantly looking at new technologies and updates to LinkedIn. So some of the instructional content we deliver on Wednesdays, and that's live. It's also recorded. But then on Fridays, it's both of us again with all of you. And on Fridays, it's not instructional. On Fridays, it's what did you learn this week? On Wednesday and during the through the portal, the videos in the portal, and let's practice this. Let's answer questions. Let's unpack it.
So you kind of went through those
The
three
two.
bullets. Yeah. So
Yeah.
small group learning cohort, and then you have those weekly coaching calls, and then you have the midweek lives with
And they're
either
just with your
myself
small
or
group.
Susan, just
Yeah.
with your small group. But you also get 50 pages of activity files, templates, scripts, and more. Those are housed in our learning portal, which is called Kajabi. You'll learn about that if you enroll in the course and how to access it. But you have the opportunity to either download a full workbook for yourself or to do it as you are going through the course. You're also going to get access to a private Slack chat space for students. This is great. This is one of the ways that a few years back we started to like embed more technology that's being used in the workplace. And so this gives you an opportunity, if you've never used Slack before, to, in a really safe environment, low stakes environment, learn how to use that. But that is where you'll access all of your links to get into our coaching calls. It's where you will connect with each other in between class. And it's also just a great place to share and learn and, and
it's the most commonly
connected.
used, except for like Google-centric organizations that use Google Teams. It is the most commonly used synchronous/asynchronous platform for communications. Much more efficient than email, organized by themes, very easy to reach out to people, attach documents. And because it's commonly used in the workplace, our students have come back and said, it was one less thing I had to learn.
It's stressor.
We also embed a little bit of Google. We do Google Drive where we're sharing the drive. We'll use Google Sheets or Excel to do a spreadsheet for networking. So there are some texts. I know some of you that have applied. I didn't see any of the names here today, but they may be watching the recording, have been asked about technical skills. We're not going to teach you how to code in JavaScript. We're going to teach you how to use business tools that are transferable across industries. And those are the three where we'll do that. And of course, we have other tools available. We have a resume gallery of kind of the best of resumes of prior graduates, just to kind of help you what looks good, give you some ideas on design, give you some ideas on language. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the connection to the broader community, really in perpetuity.
And our fall cohort is going to run from September 17th to May 5th.
December.
I'm sorry. Kelley. Okay. Who has the concussion here? Okay.
All right.
All right. So this is a little.
Yeah. I mean, we always get, people say, I want who gets a job. And, it's a journey. So we actually have a nonprofit arm of this company that is strictly for military spouses. And one of the things we're always asked is, what are your metrics, right? And the metrics that most of the funders are looking at is who gets a job, where do they get it, and how soon do they get it? So bottom line is about 60% of our students land within 90 days.
Right.
And about 90% within the year. But landing can mean different things. So to us, a successful outcome from our program is that you have fulfilled your objectives. So some people get through the program and decide, you know what? I thought I was going to go back to being a paralegal, but I feel like my dreams of being a lawyer were cut short when I had that baby. I'm going back to law school.
Right.
So now when they're writing their resume, it's written for law school, and they're practicing their interviews. They're practicing for a law school interview. They're practicing negotiating to try to get a better grant or a better financial aid package. So that to us is an equivalently successful outcome as a person like somebody like Sarisha, who's hopping on now, or Stephanie, who did earlier, or who's hopped on at the beginning of the call, landed right away in a more conventional job. Right. So our outcomes, our success is really is defined by what you have set as your goals, and we're going to make sure that we help you get there. But of course, these are some of the impressive companies where our students have landed.
Yes. Yeah,
right?
And there's more actually.
There are a lot more, but I want you to look at these names because we really put mostly just the bigger names here. These are women who have career gaps of up to 26 years.
Yes.
And is Waymo on here?
No.
No, it's not on here.
It's not on here.
Waymo is the Google here it is.
Amazon.
Waymo.
Okay. Oh yeah.
She was out for 26 years. Flexport, she was out for 18 years. Amazon, AWS, Aurora was out for 10 years. Oh my God, the Eastern European woman was so smart. Drawing a blank on her name. She was out for 12 years. Um, Christina,
Yeah.
probably 15 years. So these are people getting jobs in big organizations. But again, just as many of our students aren't looking to work in the big blue chip companies. They're looking to work at a startup, or they're looking to work at a smaller organization. Your goals are what define your success.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You're defining that as you're moving through this journey.
That one's a good
Okay.
one.
So 98% of our graduates rate the program a 5 out of 5 overall. 99 say that the course was a value or fair or even a bargain.
Right.
Actually, we get the bargain one.
We get that one
a lot.
last.
We do. So we do an evaluation at the end, or survey at the end of all of our courses, because we learn from our students, and this program has gotten better, more dynamic over the years because of our students. We love feedback. We love what's going to make us better, more effective, and so each one of the new cohorts benefits from all of the women that have come behind you. So just know that. Yeah.
Great. So these are the next steps. If you are at the end of this call, if you're feeling like, I think this is a good program for me, we want you to apply. Again, I said one, I think we could probably fit two more cohorts of 10 to 12 women. The commitment is about 6 to 8 hours of weekly work. You can make more of it. I mean,
Yeah,
I think some of our students really take a deeper dive, but at a minimum, that's what you should be able to commit.
Right.
Okay.
So step 2 is to enroll if and when you accept. Some of you actually that might be on this call may have already done.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of these names. We've had a lot of applications.
We
But,
have a few, like both of the Stacys have already applied.
Oh, great.
And a
Okay,
few
good.
people we have watching on LinkedIn. So anyway, yeah.
Great.
So we review all of those applications, and then you will get an acceptance. Or if we do, we've only had a couple of times where we've
had
had
a
to
few-
talk with people.
Right. And we've had a few we've denied, but not
Yeah.
until we've spoken with someone and realized that it wasn't a good fit. We
Exactly.
don't want you in this program
No.
if we can't help you.
No.
So it's not a money grab for us. This is, a real, mission for us.
Yes. So we're really thinking about what is best for you, what is best for the cohort, and so we are always going to be very honest with you in whether or not you're accepted. So if you've already applied and you have accepted, you've gotten your acceptance, then your next step would be to enroll. And then number 3 is
Just commit. Show up.
Yeah.
We know that in the first video, in the introductory video, Kelley does a good talk, gives you a good talk about setting yourself up for success. The first piece is making sure that everyone around you knows that you're doing this, and they're not going to be accessible, because you've probably heard this before. Getting a job is a job. So we want you to approach this with, this is important to me. I'm putting other things aside, and other people are going to have to understand that I'm not available as I was before.
Yeah. That's boundary setting.
It's a great lesson.
I was going to say, and so if you're feeling a little leery about boundaries, don't worry. I teach you a good lesson about that.
So once you're accepted into the program, you have a brief window to enroll, because if we fill up, we'll have to put you on the waiting list. The options for payment, we know you all want to do that, so we're very transparent. $100 a month for 12 months, $200 for 6, $400 for 3, or you save $3 if you pay it up front, $11.97.
Yeah. We actually put this payment plan into place a few years back because we really did want to make this, something that people could do, because we know for many of you, this may be the first time you've invested in yourself in a very long time, and taking that step is a challenge. And so the payment plan was our answer to making it something that was accessible to all people.
And we'll see it. We can see it. It's kind of cyclical, depending on how the economy is. We have a lot of $100 a month, and then we have a lot of $1,200 down, one payment, etc. The options are available, but one thing we want you to say to yourself is, or ask yourself, is how much am I willing to pay for my 6-year-old to have a private baseball coach, or my 11-year-old to be on the dance team? And how much am I worth? She and I have both experienced this feeling. When I left the workplace, I was in tech. I was making a boatload of money, and then suddenly I was making nothing. And I remember that feeling of, oh my God, I can't buy that because I'm not making any money. We need to remember that we are not making money in the conventional sense, but our roles as caregivers, as advocates, as support systems for our family and for our spouse enable that other person to make the money. We are a big part of their success.
And when I was doing my return, my husband was the one, because I was enrolling in this, this program, and he was the one that said to me, and he's in finance. He said, "You're a great investment. Like, you are a great long-term investment. So putting this money up right now is nothing in the long term of what that could net." So just,
we need more Brian's out there. That's so sweet.
put that in your mind,
Yeah.
for yourself, of you are a great investment. You have a lot to offer. And so investing in yourself.
One of the things that we should probably do, because we've had a number of people write back to us about how the job that they took is so much bigger and better and more and more profitable than the job they were going to take or would have taken without this course. So $1,200 ends up being, just a drop in the bucket when you're making a lot more. One example, and I think she might be coming to the next, I don't know, we had a student recently, I mean, incredible academic and professional pedigree, 18-year gap, and was at the time was thinking, I think I'm just going to I'm going to go be a church secretary. But what she really wanted to be was a chief of staff, a corporate chief of staff. And so we brought her from church secretary to chief of staff, which she ultimately achieved.
And that's that confidence piece. Okay.
You do get a money back guarantee with the program as if you complete the week through module 1, which is the first 2 weeks. And for whatever reason, you're not happy,
we've had some people
like
have
health issues.
Yeah, health issues, a life circumstance. We did have one student who was already in the job process, and she landed a job and wanted to take it. So she opted out. But we've also had students who have been in the job process and landed a job and decided that they actually wanted to stay and take the course, because, as you'll see, especially in these first couple of weeks of the course, you are getting to do something that you probably don't do very often, and that is hang out with yourself and really focus on who you are. And sometimes that feels good.
Yeah. And then in the later part of the course, learning how to negotiate, and interview can be very helpful within the work context.
Right.
So that's the guarantee. And I think we already did this. What you'll know. Yeah. All right. So we want to have you meet Sarisha first, and then Stephanie. So I'm going to stop the share.
Sarisha, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Hi.
What year did you graduate? Were you
Sarisha was fall of 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So I'll give you, I guess, a little bit of my background, my story, why I signed up for the course, and what I got out of it. Everybody can hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, awesome. Great. So my story, I graduated from UPenn a long time ago, and I started
My
working
daughter's there now,
immediately.
Sarisha.
Oh, she is?
She's in a
Fantastic.
graduate program there. Yeah. Oh my God, what a beautiful place. I forgot you'd gone there.
The campus is really beautiful. I just visited this
Yeah,
summer.
it really is. Yeah.
So I started working at American Express in marketing. I kind of fell into marketing, and it was perfect for me. It was both right brain and left brain, and just really used all the things that I was very good at. And then I stayed there for about 4.5 years, went to business school. And then I actually returned to American Express while I was also launching kind of an entrepreneurial venture. And then I became pregnant with my first son. And at that point, I was like, I can only have one entrepreneurial venture at a time. And that's going to be this child. And so I spun that down, and I, went back to working full time. After my second child, who came pretty closely after, they're about 15 months apart, I switched over to consulting. At that point, it was 2012 or so, and it was pretty straightforward for me to get consulting roles. I was able to work 4 days a week, and I worked with my clients for it would be one client 4 days a week for a year, which is practically the same thing as being full time and a permanent employee, right? Yeah, I had people reporting into me. I had specific goals and deliverables and whatnot. And so everything was really great. And then COVID hit, and everybody like uh became consultants basically. The it was
Sorry,
extremely difficult to
be clear.
it was extremely difficult to secure consulting roles. They were just so much more competitive, and the hourly rate was not what it was before, which is fine. You have to be flexible. But then also at the same time, my children both started high school. And all of a sudden, like I have two boys, and all of a sudden, I didn't need to pick them up and drop them off and make their lunches and, like just chase after them the way I had been up until then. And I realized I had space in my day for actually a full-time role, which is actually what I wanted to get back to. And so I've been applying for roles for a while, almost like a year and a half, and wasn't really making any progress. Um, so I'm a marketer. I really think deeply about what my product is, what my messaging, like product market fit. I really think deeply about that stuff. And I had done the work to figure out like, okay, what kind of role do I want? Like I had done all that work, but I wasn't making any progress and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was applying to so many roles. Um, Following up with people. And I just was like, there's something that's off and I can't figure out what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I've done the work, but there's something off. And I don't remember how I heard about PTLU, but I think maybe it was through like one of the online, like the YouTube videos.
Mhm.
But I checked it out and I was like, well, this sounds great. Like it's people like me who are in the same position that I'm in and who but like, where we can really focus on what it is that's like that like for me, like I was able to focus on like what it was that was like missing in the activities that I was doing and like what I was putting forth, etc. So I took the class and I really loved it for a variety of reasons. I will say like the biggest thing that I walked away with was just a general confidence in myself, my story. Um, it's really easy when you're applying and you're not getting any positive responses, or you see like a certain expression on somebody's face when they're interviewing for that to like kind of deflate whatever confidence you might have in your your experience or like your just known ability to get stuff done and to like think strategically and whatnot. Anyway, it was like the confidence came from the preparation and the reframing that I had that I was able to do in the coursework and with my other with the other women in my cohort. That was really important for me. I like we did the resume workshops. Um, we did the like cover letters, but I want to say there were a few pivotal things that really changed for me. One was just understanding, like um, Susan explains, like exactly how jobs, like the how HR works, right?
HR brain.
And
Yeah.
yes, and it was really fascinating to me. Like it was something that I knew about when I was working and I was hiring people and like working with HR units, but I didn't actually see like how the sausage was made. And also the market had changed a lot
Mhm.
from when I had been applying for full-time roles before. And so what was really helpful was just how like understanding how the system work and frankly the position that I'm in right now, which just like it's like a miracle um how it worked out. It was like so perfect for everything that I had like laid out for myself. Even at points where I thought like, okay, well, maybe even though I did lay this out for myself, maybe that's not where the market is. Maybe that's not what roles look like. Maybe I'm asking for too much. And somehow I found something that kind of fit everything that I wanted. So I'm at Pete's Coffee. It is 3 miles
I
from my
just read
house.
that somebody's looking to buy them for like 82. It was like the number was huge.
Just, yeah.
18 billion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keurig, Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so we just received that news this week, and
Okay.
I
Oh,
think
so
the
it's a
organization.
deal. It's not just an offer.
It's a deal.
I think that
Acquisition.
I think that they've kind of made the public offer,
Okay.
and now they're working towards it
Cool.
with like all the steps that.
Who would think that coffee could bring in that kind of an offer? Gosh.
Oh yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
But it's I mean it's like 33% above like our stock price right now,
Wow.
so it's I think anyway, I it's all
You
publicly
landed at a good
available.
time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you
Yes.
landed
So
doing what you want to do. And you didn't have to
yes.
settle. And that's really
And
kind
I
of the
want
story
to
for
say
most
this,
people.
Sharisa, it's not a miracle because you really invested yourself in this program. You asked great questions. We would get our calls and we would be like, oh my gosh, she is just so
Sure.
smart and sharp and, and all of those things. And, to your point, sometimes we forget who we are and what we
Mhm.
bring to the table because the process sucks it out of us. And,
Mhm.
you seeing, well, wait a second. Like if like I can see so clearly that I fit, or if this is what I want, maybe I can make this happen. And when we have that little bit, that voice inside of us that says like maybe I can do this, versus when you're in that process that's telling you maybe you can't do this.
Mhm.
And you listen to that voice and you follow that voice and you make it happen. It's not a miracle. You really invested and you believed in yourself
And you did the work.
and you did the work.
Mhm.
So I think that's just a really, it's a really great thing. And it makes us so proud. We feel like proud parents,
Yeah, it's so
out there
nice
in
to
the
see
world.
you and hear your story.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, for me, I think the biggest unlock was understanding how HR departments worked, and that that really helped out a lot. Like I ended up getting this because I applied. I didn't hear back, and I was shocked actually that I didn't hear back because I was like, I'm so perfect for this. Why are they not messaging me back? And turns out they had like 300, 400 applicants,
At least.
and so the way I got through was I reached out to someone who was a mutual friend of like the hiring leader, and as soon as he sent my resume, I got an interview immediately, and then I was just like fast tracked. So yeah, so
You learned how to
it
bypass
was.
the system and you had the tools so you knew how
Yes,
to do it and what
exactly.
to
I was
say.
like prepared once I got in. But I just realized like for me, it was like I kept trying to open this door and it wasn't a door all this time. Like I thought it was a door, like applying online and stuff. And that wasn't the door. It was actually like a hidden door. And once I found that door, it made it actually so much easier. So yeah.
Good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thanks, Sarisha.
Yes.
Thanks so much. So,
Yeah, no.
where are the boys now? Are they in high school or is one of them in college?
Well, we have a junior and a senior. So the senior is finishing up his applications this week,
Good
and
way.
Times.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been quite a summer.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah.
We know you have to hop off for
Yeah.
Yes.
for a call, but does anybody have a question that they want to ask Sarisha before she goes back to work?
She's actually hopping to the airport. She let me know that. So
Oh,
thank
okay.
you. Thank you for sliding us in your busy workday.
Yeah, no problem.
Any questions for Sarisha?
All right. Well, we have
We have
Stephanie.
All right.
Stephanie.
Yep.
Oh, you do it.
Oh,
Stacy.
Stacy does.
Hi, I do. I have a good question. Were you working at the time you went through the program? Or like, can you speak to how that works when people currently have a job but still want to do this? I had a
Um,
break and then I came back to work, but now I'm questioning it and like I feel like now's the time for me and I'm ready and I've seen your videos and
Feel
like
like you settled,
dive
you
in, but
mean?
now I just want to understand like like, how will I fit this in work-wise? Should I quit and just do this? Like, you know, I don't want to do that, but like, how will I balance it all if I
Let's
do?
let Sarisha answer that because weren't you working part-time or you were working consulting,
Yeah,
right,
I
Sarisha?
yeah, I was consulting. So my schedule was actually a lot more flexible than if I was working full time. But honestly, like I would have, even if I was at a full-time role that I didn't want to be at, I would have still gone through with the course and taken it. Um, I shared what my blockers were and what I needed to kind of overcome. And I know for every person who's taken the course, like we've all had different blockers, right? And so I think you'll benefit from the class regardless of whether you're working full time or if you're not. Um, Sometimes, I mean, I have heard that but Susan and Kelley can speak to this, but I have heard that it's like easier to find something when you have something. But
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
So Stacy, I think the only caveats would be is you'll get so much more out of the program, and we prefer students who can be here live. Are you on, what coast are you on? What's
I'm
your time?
central and I have a fairly flexible schedule, but I would want to definitely come to the live things for,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys already have like the timeline of like when those things are and I can see how they would fit in or what I would need to move around.
Yeah, I
Right.
think, right, I know that the first cohort will be this next cohort would be noon Eastern time for your calls on Wednesdays and on Fridays. So that would be 11 a.m. for you.
Okay. But
Yeah.
Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay, that's super helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
And we've had students take them on their lunch break if they are working. They just kind of schedule like that is their time, and they'll be eating in the background, turn their camera off for the part.
And I just want to say this from like the coaching standpoint, Stacy, the structure of the program will help you accelerate this for you because if you are working and you can make time for those live calls, if you were to try to do this on your own, you don't have the structure in place.
Oh yeah, I've tried. Forget
Right?
it. And you've got the kids and work and all the things. It's like
So,
this
so this provides
seems
the
ideal.
structure to move the needle much quicker than maybe if you think I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to keep watching the PTLU videos because you can find a lot of our content is out there. But the structure of the program, this actually goes for all of you, really accelerates you through the job seeking process exponentially in the 10 weeks because there's so much structure in what we're doing and what we're asking.
And this is a good pivot to Stephanie because Stephanie was not working when she joined the program, but then she got a job and
but
she
was
stuck with the
working.
program.
Yes, that's right.
And Stephanie, I hope you don't mind mentioning this, but she's a single mom.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of divorcees who come through the program. Sometimes they're pushed into the workforce abruptly because of their circumstances. So she's like a mom of 4 working, taking the course. So Stephanie, why don't you introduce yourself and tell your story?
Sure. I'm Stephanie. And real quick, I started out in engineering. I actually started at NASA and then transitioned to semiconductor engineering. And then I had my 4 kids. And so that was when I stepped out and started, I was committed to raising them and homeschooling them. So I was out for a really long time. I like that range. I was on that way upper range.
Yeah.
And so like you said, in the middle of the course, it was like end of February. I started the course in January, and then at the end of February was when I started my job, thanks to my networking and everything that you guys teach us. And I was also going through my divorce at that same time. So I was transitioning to getting my kids into school, going through my divorce, getting back into work. And so, yeah, to Stacy's point, I created a time. I just blocked it as a meeting time for the live courses and committed to that. And so, yeah, everything that Susan and Kelley outlined is exactly why I signed up for the course. It was everything that I needed. I thought originally when I thought about going back to work, I was like, okay, well, I need the help with the resume and the interviewing tips and things like that. But what made me choose PTLU was that live session and real people. And so it was incredible how the conversations in the live sessions, the feedback, the individual feedback for me, and then also hearing everybody else's feedback is just opens up ideas and things like that. And I loved how the course was structured. So like each step, being an engineer, I love a process. And so each step just builds and builds, and it will get you towards your goal. Even a person like me who did not know what her goal was, I was a completely different person when I started the program to when I finished, and even still growing. I love being in the grad program and having the support continue as well. So
One thing I remember about you, Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had this kind of rock star start at NASA, and then you had so for her story was one of the more complicated ones to try to map out because she had this foundational experience as an engineer at the flagship place for any engineer, NASA. Then she was home. Then you went to veterinary school, right? Or
I applied. Yeah, I applied to vet
and worked at the vet tech, or you did something. You did something.
Yeah, it was like out of left field according to the,
right.
Like regular people.
Right. And then homeschooling. So think about like, how do you tell a story like that? But we were able to connect the dots, and make it all make sense so that when she tells a story, it's so impressive.
Right.
Instead of this is someone who's just like grabbing at straws and throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Tried this or did that.
Right. It's not that. It's like this is all makes total sense.
Yeah. And where I landed is so interesting too, because there is this thread of life sciences. Like at NASA, I was in life sciences, applying to vet school, doing the life science coursework. And then I landed in a biotech startup, and it was incredible helping rare disease families, and managing their research, preclinical research and stuff. So it was, again, finding that thread and being able to explain my story was, huge.
It's great. Awesome. And then again, the community supporting you
Yeah.
after the company's funding didn't come through.
Yeah.
And kind of being able to go back to bases. You don't lose what you learn.
Yeah.
And not to get in too much in the weeds, but when Stephanie joined our graduate program, which meets once a month, she got access to all the course materials again because she'd been out for a couple of years. So she could go back through the course again.
Yeah.
With fresh eyes and a new experience.
Yeah.
So any questions thank you so much, Stephanie. Any questions for Stephanie or for us? Anything at all? There are no dumb questions. Yeah, Stacey.
I have one more. Sorry, I don't want to monopolize, but
Rietano.
number one, thank you so much for having like postgraduates come back in, because I was gonna email you separately to be like, can we hear from them? Like we have questions for them, what the experience was. And thank you for showing up. I also have like a varied background of different jobs, and so that's where I struggle to like figure out how to tell my story. And like, how do you work with people like in an individual group? Is there any one-on-one like to really craft that out with just
There's a lot of one-on-one within the groups because you're with us for 2 hours a week live, and there are just 10 of you. I mean, it happens organically.
Right.
We will have you do some work on your own. You'll do some work with the group. You might do some work with a partner.
Right.
So I can count on one hand how many people after the course have asked to have a one-on-one with me, for example, to work on interviewing. And usually it's like 3 months in, they just want to have a refresher. But I think everybody, and Stephanie, you can speak to this, feels fully prepared at the end. Like they've gotten enough touches with us that they feel very well prepared.
I think from a curriculum design standpoint, like in just how we have everything laid out, there is a ton of modeling. So you're going to get many, many examples of a profile statement on a resume, many, many examples of how to make these, all these different dots connect with each other because you've had a varied background. You're going to get many examples of how people have told the story. And once you see that, it makes it easier for you to be able to do it for yourself.
And there's a lot of instruction, I mean, a lot of charts and graphs and, templates. There's a lot of support.
But I want to say this because I think this is really important, especially when it comes to the resume. We make you write your own resume in this course, and we do that on purpose because it allows you to be better at telling your story as you're going, because it's that process, it's the writing process, it's actually physically putting it down on a piece of paper. And as you're doing that, you're getting better at telling the story so that by the time you get interview and they say, Stacy, tell me about yourself, you can do it really confidently and really well because you've taken it through this whole process. And that's all the embedded curriculum design piece that is on purpose. It's set up so that you are successful in doing that. So you're going to see lots of examples of how to use our strategies that we teach in this course that are designed for that unconventional resume. You're going to see lots and lots of examples of that.
And you'll get direct editing, direct writing suggestions. There's a lot.
And Susan does a resume review of every single student that goes through this program. Like, so your resume is not going into the hands of anyone out there in the workplace until her eyes have seen it and she's gotten the final approval on that. And that goes for your LinkedIn profiles as well. So it's both.
If I could jump in on that, my experience, and I think everybody's experience, it's like career coaching plus. It's like you get that individual feedback, but you also get an accountability group. You get the encouragement and confidence support. It was like everything you could possibly need to make this really big change.
Great. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you. I will repeat something.
Oh,
good. I will say something that Tara, one of our other graduates, has said to us before, is there's something special about the synergy of the group. And sometimes people really want to focus on, well, I'm really just interested in my end goal. I don't really need to hear everybody else's story. But you will learn so much through the coaching that Susan and Kelley give to other people in your cohort. Like I was that way when I was a student, there were some people a few steps down the road from me. I wouldn't have thought to ask those questions yet, but when I heard Susan and Kelley coach them through how to handle that, it was like all these lights lit up for me, like, oh, like it was very helpful, the synergy of the group, because you can really help each other in a more holistic way. Okay, we do have a couple questions that popped up into the chat. First, at the very beginning, Stacy H said that she experienced a layoff and she's wondering if we have any scholarships for people experiencing financial instability. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we our answer to the scholarship was the monthly payment plan, Stacy, the $100 a month. And if you have any questions about that, you can message us offline. Okay.
Okay, and then a recent question from Cher. She said, can we go over again the money back guarantee?
Sure. So for the first 2 weeks, which will take you through all of module 1 and a little bit of module 2, if within those 2 weeks you're dissatisfied either with the content, it doesn't feel like a good fit, or something happens in your life, you have some type of tragedy or a medical issue, or you get a job, regardless your reason, if within those 2 weeks, after the first 2 weeks, you are not satisfied, you just need to show us, and we can tell if you've done the work because we can see which videos you've watched and what you've uploaded. As long as we know that you actually put some time in, if it's not working for you, you get your money back. So if you've paid in full, you get the whole check. If you've paid just the 1 month, you get the 1 month and the payment plan ends. All right. Sure.
Okay. If you have any other questions, drop them in the chat. But before we wrap up, I do want to remind everybody just of our timeline. We are enrolling for fall 2025. Applications are open now. In a moment, I will pop the application link in the chat once again. The application deadline is Monday, September 15th, and we start right after that. We have an onboarding session Wednesday, September 17th, and that's just so we can meet each other and go over the nuts and bolts. We want you to come to week 1, which starts September 22nd, just fully prepared. I give you a tour of Kajabi, our online learning platform, and Slack, our communications platform. So you can kind of start setting up that structure for yourself, your quote unquote office hours, or how you're going to handle the program. And if you miss that or you're not able to attend that day, we always record our sessions and I post the recordings in Slack at the end of that business day. So we will get that to you. Of course, we want you to attend live as much as you can. You're gonna want to attend.
You're gonna
not want to miss them, but you will get out more from this program. The more you put into it, the more you participate, the more you're involved. And we see like the cohorts that really gel are the ones that reach out or schedule a partner call or kind of make that effort. That it really helps you and helps everybody. If you have any questions for us, send them our way. Our email is info@preparetolaunchu.com. So,
I'd like to add just one last
yeah.
thing. You saw a snapshot of 2 of our graduates. The demographics of our program are very broad.
Yes.
We have people who are 34 and just took a 2-year career break with 1 baby. We have people who are 64 who waited to get 4 kids into college. We have people with Ivy League degrees. We have people with high school degrees, but with professional skill sets. So there is a real range. There's really nobody outside of it. Truly, the only people that we probably haven't gotten a lot of are teachers and nurses who are staying in education or healthcare. We get a lot that are pivoting out of those 2.
I was going to
But,
say we have had
so most people are looking for careers in more of the non-health and education areas, unless they're pivoting. But we want you to know that, we have a hard time getting graduates because they're all working. So we're lucky that Sarisha and Stephanie were able to attend today. But there's nobody, and if for some reason you were way outside of our demographic, we haven't met someone like that, we would meet with you and we would tell you before we would decline. Okay. Thanks so much. We hope to see some of you on September 17th for onboarding. We will be happy to answer your questions. So thanks, Megan, and thanks so much, Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you. And it was so nice to see you, Stephanie. We don't get to see face to face. We grow so attached during our 10 weeks, and then you're off in the
in grad program.
So we see you sometimes in the graduate class.
All right, guys, go ahead, and pull the trigger and at least put your applications in.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.